Today we're going to look at direct proportion. Let's have a look at the definition for direct proportion, or you can call it direct variation. So, direct variation is when one variable is a simple multiple of the other. A classic example is the direct variation between kilograms, a measurement of weight, and pounds, because 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. You can see that the pounds is just a multiple of the 1 kilogram. So for example, if you wanted to know how many pounds are in 2 kilograms, you just multiply this by 2 to get you 4.4 pounds. This is what direct variation is, when one variable, like this, is a simple multiple of the other. Sometimes they'll ask you to sketch direct variation or direct proportion on a curve. So have a look at what it would look like. All you need to do is draw a straight line that hits through the origin. Now the origin is just the coordinates 0, 0. We have a straight line to show when variable A increases, variable B also increases. Now that we understand what direct proportion is and what it looks like on a curve, let's answer a typical direct proportion question. So the hours that John works, which we'll call H, is directly proportional to the money he earns, we'll call that M. And we know that he made £240 in 20 hours. So my question is, how many hours would he have to work to make £102? Now this does look like a ratios question, and you could solve it like that. However, they want you to solve it in a very specific way using direct proportions. The first thing you need to do is write a statement about the hours he works and the money he earns, and it looks something like this. The money he earns, M, is directly proportional, shown by this weird alpha sign, a Greek letter, to the hours he works, H. So the money he earns is directly proportional to H. Now we know that direct proportion is just when one is a multiple of the other, so we can say as an equation that the money he earns is equal to K times H, where K is what we call the constant of proportionality, because this is the thing that makes them differ. Now we need to find out what the constant of proportionality is. So we know that he made £240 in 20 hours. So let's sub that into our equation. So we know the money is 240, and that will be equal to K times the number of hours, which is 20. Now let's just solve the equation. We divide both sides by 20, and we're going to get that K is equal to 12. So that's the first step. Now that we've done that, let's rewrite out our equation. So we know that M will be 12 lots of H, because the number of hours he works, he'll make 12 times the amount of money. So now we want to find out how much he would have to work to make £102, so let's sub that in. We know that 102, the money he wants to earn, is equal to 12 times H. Now let's solve the equation. We divide both sides by 12, and we get that H is equal to 102 divided by 12, which is H is 8.5. So he'd have to work 8.5 hours to make £102. And that is a typical direct proportion question. That's all for this video. In the next video, we're going to look at inverse proportion.